This meeting is being recorded.
Hi, Basiru. Good evening. We are going to discuss about FDI in the African Union, to be more precise, in Gambia today. So let's start our discussion. Basiru, you're muted.
Hello.
Yeah, you can share your screen as well. I can see I can hear your audio. Yeah, fine. Yeah. So let's start discussing about FDI. I guess you did some groundwork in the past few days, and you wanted to discuss. So let's. This is a very crucial topic for global trade balance when we take into the purview of the African Union and Gambia. So let's start discussing. I give the dice to you.
Foreign direct investment is the category of international investment that reflects the objective of obtaining a lasting interest by an investor in one economic in an enterprise resident in another economy.
So if you take the example of Gambia, which is the largest contributor for the foreign direct investment? Which country? Is it within the African Union, or it's in international trade relationship?
It is an international trade relationship here.
So US is a major partner in your trade?
Yeah, for sure. US, Europe, you come to Asia, we can say Gambia is depending like in everything, like, but it's many resources come from USA and China.
So how about the trade balance? It's a positive or negative? Positive and negative in the sense, if the number of imports, if the quantity of imports is more than the quantity of exports, it's considered a negative trade balance. It is not negative in the real sense, because all we want is a good relationship for multilateral trade. It doesn't matter whether your exports is more than your imports or vice versa. It doesn't matter. You should have multilateral trade, good relationship, so that we will have a trade balance and good forex reserves and good standards of life. So how is the trend in Gambia? How about the exports versus imports ratio?
Here in the Gambia, it is negative because always, the imports is far more than the export here.
Okay.
Yeah, the importation for the Gambia is far more than the exportation. Gambia export few amount of resources, while they import.
It is understandable. Only very few countries has the positive trade flow, in the sense exports being more than imports, because it all depends on the supply and demand, what do you call, the cycle, or the strategy, in the sense, if the demand for the imported goods are more in your nation, then naturally the imported goods would be more. The ratio of imported goods would be more, even if you produce more commodities for export. Even if you produce more commodities for export, if there is a more demand for foreign goods, and for, let's say, just for the flavor, for the variety part of it, or in terms of a different viewpoint in terms of quality and a different make. So it all depends. So it is not a barrier for growth. So a negative Trade balance is not, trade is not a barrier for growth. All what we have to look for is good relationship and the volume of trade. The volume of multi-trade, multilateral trade is more significant than whether it's going to be a positive or negative. I guess even US will have they will have a negative import versus export ratio. So that's not wrong actually. Yeah, like what else you have for me today? Like we are talking about FDI. So you talked about the exports versus import ratio and who's the major partner. How about the other countries of the African Union and what are the measures, like in the sense the quantification in terms of the foreign direct investment, forex reserves in the African Union? Is as a percentage of the entire trade going on between all of the nations of the world. What is the growth factor you're looking at in the African Union and in Gambia in particular, in terms of percentage, the percentage of increase of FDI, and if you have those figures, it can be approximate figure. Okay, the other day you discussed about the percentage of
Africa
growth
experience on inward foreign direct investment represent.
Yeah, the other day we were discussing about the percentage growth of GDP. That was quite good. It's a high 5.8 and 6. The percentage growth of GDP is good, but I wanted to know the percentage growth of the FDI. Do you have a figure or have you made some calculation? Okay, otherwise we'll discuss in another meeting, but I'm just curious to know the percentage growth of FDI.
The region experienced the highest rate of return on FDI, 11.4%.
Well, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. 11.4% growth year on year.
Mm-hmm. Compared to Asia is 9.1%.
Okay, last year it was 9. Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. So at this rate, your foreign direct investment,
like compared to Asia and America, when you come to Latin, when you come to Latin area, Latin America is 8.9%.
8.9. Okay.
Yeah. So compared to Asia is 9.1%.
Awesome. So you are 11.4%. So you're talking about Gambia alone, or you're averaging out?
I'm talking about the African Union.
African Union, no, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So it's like a silent hit. So the African Union is like a silent hit, is it? A sleeper hit. So it's growing pretty fast.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Okay. So that means every nation has a good forex reserve, and every nation in African Union is how about the standards of living and happiness index and other indices? How about those indices? Are they improving in a drastic fashion?
The standard of living here in Africa is very low. People don't have. There is no good standard of living here in Africa. It's very unfortunate to say, but that is the case here.
Audio. Yeah. Okay. No, it's wrong. Yeah. So, what measures the government and other bodies are taking to improve the standards of living? So you have a good percentage growth of GDP, a good percentage growth of FDI. So these are the parameters which would influence the standards of living. What are the deterrents against achieving a good standard of life?
When it comes to Gambia, the government is improving, creating job opportunities for the jobless ones here, which provides data on poor and non-poor households. I hope you understand.
Yeah. So you're saying about based on poverty line, and I think like the other day I was
Because here
discussing about
in collection of data for tariffs.
there's some disturbance and breakage in your
Sorry, come again?
audio. Yeah, can you please repeat? The government is measuring the poverty line and helping
Yeah,
the people below
I
the
hope
poverty line.
it is a connection.
Okay, okay, now it's proper. Yeah, please go ahead.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. So how do you define a poverty line? It's
The
a
Gambia
very
is a small.
controversial
Is
topic. Yeah, I know. Yeah, so it has population 2 million. So the poverty line is a very controversial topic because the measure of a poverty line is not proper in many nations. They measure very poor standards of living as the poverty line, and the reason why they do it is to cover up the standards of the nation when they disclose it to the world, saying that only a few percentage of people are below the poverty line, but the standards for determining the poverty line are not proper. That those are not real good living standards for defining the poverty line. So we want to create awareness in this space as well. So government should be very transparent in creating a poverty line which is on par with the good standards of living. So you should have good standards of living. Anything below that should be considered as poverty line. You should not go to lowest rung of standards of living and take that as poverty line and consider people living below that standard as below poverty line. And by that we are trying to hide some of the difficulties faced by people with standards slightly above that demarcation. So the definition of a poverty line should be a good standard for all nations and according to their cost of living, and that should be followed. What are your thoughts on this, Basil?
The poverty line here in the Gambia is less than 80 in 2020. So when it come to 2020, 2022, 2023, we're experiencing a poverty line of $8 or $7 a day due to the inflation that is happening here. And here the biggest problem in the Gambia, nearly 50% of the population does not have access to electricity, and nearly 70% of the population in urban areas does not have access to safe drinking waters, which means that which are not clean and
so we are going to yeah, correct. We are going to innovate in these two spaces. Access to electricity could be to remotest parts could be achieved through wireless power transmission and DTH, and shared parabolic antennas. We'll work on those topics so that the cost is reduced and coverage is more. And we are by creating artificial rain through AGI based Bernoulli's theorem constructs. So we are going to give a facelift of Bernoulli's theorem. So we discussed the other day, right, creating artificial rain and how it is better than desalination, as the desalination is very costly. And we are going to create artificial. So the problem of fresh water and electricity in remote areas can be tackled by our thought process and innovation, which we have been doing. So we could take Gambia as the pilot project, and we could start the project in Gambia since you have a population of 2 million. So we could think about that aspect. So what is the average rainfall in Gambia? Is it a dry nation or it's a nation receiving good rainfall?
The Gambia, especially amount here, it was very good. So which means that we receive a maximum amount of rainfall in that 6 months.
Okay, so we will have to fine tune on the reception of pure safe drinking water. What is the problem with fresh water? Since the rainfall is good, are there not good rainfall catchment areas, rain harvesting strategies followed in Gambia?
No. So the problem here is most of the agriculturalists and the farmers here in the Gambia, if it is 100%, only 25 or less than 25% of the agriculturalists and the farmers here in the Gambia are educated. So majority of the percentage of the farmers and the agriculturalists in the Gambia are not educated. They all illiterate. That is the problem here. So when it comes to certain levels here in the Gambia, majority of the population is dependent on well waters.
Well
Waters and maybe tap waters, which on those taps are boreholes that are digged in their homes, and the water is drowned from the well to the borehole that they drink in their homes. So it means that the safe drink water here is very less.
So what is the depth of your bore wells?
The problem is we don't have these factories that are producing natural waters or that are manufacturing natural waters to give a safe to drink.
Yeah, rainwater harvesting should be done in an elaborate manner. That's a good way of having fresh water. And what is the depth of your bore well for water usage? To what depth do you go when you go for a bore well based water resource? It's going to be very deep, or you get water at a
when you go for water resources, personally, you mean?
No. See, to what depth you go in the water table?
It
is going to be very deep, depending on the region. Okay.
Yeah, it is depending on the region. Sometimes when in some of the regions here in the Gambia, you don't have to go so much deep.
Very deep.
But when it comes to other regions, it have to go very deep for them to have waters. Example, in these hilly places.
Okay, actually, this is not good. Actually, drawing water from the water table and using it for our use application is it's not good method, because that is good for ecological balance and the health of the soil and other things. If you take away the water from the water table, it's not good. So we will have to devise good method strategies for rainwater harvesting and other ways of getting fresh water through rainwater catchment areas and having good for forest cover, which acts as a rainwater catchment area. So we should devise those methods instead of going for borewell based methods of accessing the water table from the ground. So that should be avoided. So even in India, they even in dry places, they go for bore wells and other stuff. Many cities they do it, but that's not good actually. Yeah, what are your thoughts? Do you have a very thought process in this?
Yeah.
Okay, Basiru, I guess
maybe we talk
we can join again. Yeah,
living condition in the Gambia.
Yeah, we'll talk about the FDI and the financial aspects. We'll talk about the water catchment and other topics in another webinar. So let's continue with the talk on FDI and Forex reserves.
Are you here?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, you can go ahead. You can take the.
Hello.
guys. Yeah, Basiru, yeah.
Here in the Gambia, the here the Gambians here, when it comes to the standard of living of it is very less. When it comes to poverty, we have the highest percentage when it comes to West African countries to see of the poor percentage, and we have we have about the smallest number of people in our country, or the smallest population so far. The Gambia is among the least intelligent countries in Africa, according to an IQ test by the World Population Review. Out of 53 list countries, the Gambia was ranked 50th with an overall IQ score of 52.68. Our Senegalese neighbors are among the smartest in Africa with a score of 77.37.
No, wait. Okay, see. This is not okay. No. This is a wrong measure, I tell you. But listen, like we have a different concept. Don't go by those parameters. There are 9 types of intelligence. I will share the article
we have some problems over our intelligence.
Basil, one more. Let me complete.
Some problems and
let me complete. Basil, one more. See, there are 9 types of intelligence, and I would share an article in the recording of this video. All these IQ parameters are related only to logical reasoning and analytical skills. So they don't cover all other aspects of intelligence. So the intelligence could be spatial intelligence, kinematics, interpersonal relationship, intrapersonal relationship, linguistics. So there are 9 types of intelligence. So we cannot determine the IQ of a person just by analytical skills and logical reasoning skills. So the measurement which is done for all the IQ tests all over the world is not proper. We are going to propose a different approach. That is why we came with the concept of STEAMs, STAMS. So we are going to concentrate on all-round development and the 9 types of intelligence. So I consider Anna by far the most intelligent person I have ever met, because she has a good balance of the 9 types of intelligence, which I will share in the article in this video. So don't worry about those figures of IQ, and don't try to denigrate your countrymen, thinking that they're even the differently abled people, they have a different kind of an intelligence of the 9 types of intelligence. So everyone is intelligent in their own manner. So we should not segregate based on IQ levels. So that we will try to bring in. We'll try to bring people from the differently able people to the mainstream, and we will avoid all kinds of segregation and demarcation based on these levels. And we would make them study and work along with the mainstream. So that is our aim. That is another mission statement of our organization. Okay, sorry, we are digressing. So you go back to your talks on FDI and Forex.
Forex, what maybe you talk about foreign direct investment, FDI. So
okay, I'll define about Forex. Forex is the reserve of foreign currency with your nation. So your federal bank or the central bank would have foreign currency reserves for better bilateral trade or a multilateral trade. So that is called Forex. That is not exactly foreign direct investment, because they're not investing on any asset or in your nation or in any other nation, but those are like Forex reserves. Those are considered to be equivalent for gold standards for printing the currency. The Forex reserves can be also used for printing the currency for your nation. So Forex reserves, FDI, your gold standards. These will determine your strength of currency, and these are indirectly determined by your multilateral trade and the global trade balance. Yeah, Basiru, I will stop the video now, and we will continue again, because we don't want a very lengthy video, because that would create monotony, and people may not be interested in following a very lengthy video. So we'll make it short now. We'll cut it here, here, and we'll again continue with the second part. I'll stop the video now.